Hey everyone, it's Jenny here from Cookies Cacti, and it's just about 7 o'clock on a Friday evening in Chandler, Arizona, and my phone says it's 110 degrees outside, so let's see how long I can last. So I thought I would just take the last bit of light for the evening and show you some of my plants that are in ground. I moved into this house about 6 years ago, and when I bought the house, everything that you see here was already here except for the plants. And the funny thing is I bought the house because I wanted a really low maintenance property, and now look what I've done to it. So basically everything that's living in the ground and in all these shade structures I put in. And Cookie's over here. Hey Cookie. So let me take you through my landscape plants, starting with this guy. This is Tom, the Totem Pole Cactus. It's the only plant I have that actually has a name. And he's special because he was my first cactus. I got him in July of 2020, so it's been almost 2 years. I just wanted something living. I had a fish that died and I wanted to bury the fish in the yard, and I thought, why not plant a cactus, with the fish. So there's actually a fish buried under there. So this is a Totem Pole Cactus, or Lophocereus schottii, and I'm just going to say now, apologize, my pronunciation and all the Latin names are going to be wrong, so I'm going to try to stop myself from apologizing throughout the video and just do an overall apology now. So it's given the nickname Totem Pole Cactus because you can see how it has all these lumps all over it, and from here they kind of look like faces on the side. So when I got the plant, let me show you, it was just, oops, those are my notes. It was just this one branch, and it was about this tall, and it didn't have any arms. And it took about a year for it to get this tall, and then last summer it started to grow these arms. And since it started growing the arms, the growth on the main body has pretty much stopped, and all the energy, I think, has been directed into growing the arms. It's a really cool cactus. I love it. It's Cookie again. Hey, Cookie. So this was the only guy I had in the ground for a while, and then I started to add more plants. So let me walk you through kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So over here I have a Ferrocactus Weslesnii, which, oh by the way, I got this plant and the Totem Pole Cactus from Arizona Cactus Sales. So this is, Weslesnii is a native plant in the Phoenix area in Arizona, but this kind is a little more special because it's yellow spined, and it's been doing very well in the ground. You can see I have some window screen over it to help it out because the UV intensity has been absolutely crazy. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of help, a little bit of protection from the intense UV here. Over here I had a Ferrocactus, I think it was like a Covellii or an Emery, and it wasn't doing well starting from a little while back. And it had a weed growing next to it, and so one day I went to go pull the weed and the entire plant came out. It had lost all of its roots, and I have no idea why. And it's now sitting in a pot under my pergola, hoping that I can reroot it. But anyway, here's an empty spot, someone that didn't do well. Over here I have an Agave. This is an Agave Pear Var Huachucensis. This is an agave that is, I think it's related to Agave truncata Pear. It's native to Arizona, but not to the Phoenix area. I think it's native to the mountains in the south of Arizona, probably near the Arizona-Mexican border. I got this one as a little tiny guy from the Desert Botanical Garden fall or spring sale, and it's been doing very well in the ground. It's been growing a lot. But you can see that the outer leaves are quite stressed from the sun, but the inner leaves are doing great. And I also have a window screen covering it just to help it out, because the summer's no joke here. Then I have some elephant food, or Portulacaria afra, which I propagated off of my main mother plant. And then I have a lot of weeds doing really well behind this kind of decorative red wall. Next I have another agave. This is Agave Medio Pikta Alba, which I bought from Home Depot. And it was also really small and not too happy when I got it, but I had been growing it in a pot for a while and decided to put it in the ground, and it's been doing well here. You can see how all the leaves are kind of standing up because this area gets really strong direct sunlight, but otherwise it's doing well. It also has a lot of pups popping out on the side. And same thing with this agave, the outer leaves are hurting a little bit, showing signs of sun stress, but the center is doing absolutely wonderful. So over here I have a couple of little agave. This is your standard Pear truncata. I had a bigger plant here that I had bought from a Home Depot, and the mother plant just wasn't doing well. And when I pulled her out, these two just were her pups, and they just stayed behind, and they've been doing quite well here. They've grown quite a bit too. They were so small at first. Over here I have another agave. This one is called, it was given the name Agave Titanota White, which I got from the Desert Botanical Garden. This is actually a pup off of the main mother plant. The mother plant's in my front, over by my front door outside in a pot, but I had picked this pup off and it had been doing well, and then I popped it into the ground and it's been doing fine. And you can see it's growing very compact because of the amount of light that it gets. Over here I have one of those very cute hairy cactuses. This one's name is Espastoa Melanostelle, or Melanostelli. And this one I bought from either Home Depot or Walmart, I forget. But it was really small when I got it. I put it in the ground and it's been growing quite well. And you can see how dense the hair is. And it's so dense because of the amount of light that it gets. You can see through all that hair is those yellow spines sticking out. Cookie. So next to this guy I have another one that I think is of the same genus and species. This was part of some community pot from Lowe's. Excuse my neighbor working on their car. I had removed this from a community pot. It had been glued in, let it root nicely, and stuck it in the ground to see what would happen. You can see it's really small, it's like the size of a thumb. Here I have a Mammillaria variety dead. I need to take this out, it's so dead. Then I have a prickly pear here. This was purchased from Home Depot in one pot, and it had 2 plants in it. And when I bought it, the plants were like one pad with maybe 1 extra pad or 2 extra pads. I put it in the ground, and this is what it did. It grows like a monster. And this one is following over for some reason. You can see how sun stressed it is. And a couple of branches that had already broken off. I have the branches sitting in pots trying to root under the pergola. I got this prickly pear because it is almost spineless. It has some glochids on it still, so I'm really trying to be careful with it. I've been stabbed, or I've had really annoying glochids in my skin from this anyway, even being so thornless, but I just deal with it. So over here I have a Ferrocactus Chrysalis, which is, don't let the other Ferrocactus hear this, but it's probably my favorite. It has these beautiful long red spines and white spines, And when you water it and you get the spines wet, the color just pops. And this has been a very low maintenance plant for me. It doesn't seem to need that much water, although I am watering them about once a week by hand of these little guys in the summertime. But I got this one from one of the plant sales at the Boyce Thompson Arboretum. I love it. I love it so much. Then I have a couple of brittle bush. Brittle bush is native to this Phoenix area, or to the Sonoran Desert. I don't know if they're native beyond the Sonoran Desert, but I know they're native here because you see them growing everywhere around the valley. This one has, let me find what its scientific name is. Oh, it's Ancilla Ferronosa. If you see them out growing in the wild, they are small and compact. But in my yard, it has been growing like a monster. And I think it's because it's getting water. You can see there's still flowers on it, despite how hot it is already. But I just put it in the ground here hoping that it would provide shade for some of my other plants, and it has. But it is a little bit of a messy plant, and I need to trim it. So underneath the brittle bush, I have this yellow guy, which I don't actually know what the ID is. I bought this one from B&B Apache Junction. No affiliation with B&B in Tucson. And it wasn't labeled when I got it, and this is not the pot that it came in. So that wasn't the price. I think this was probably $3 or something, and it was about half the size when I got it. Over here I have an Echino Cactus Ingens, which I think I got from Boyce Thompson Arboretum. They always have plants for sale there, like even outside of their spring and fall sale. And I stuck it in the ground. It's really small, but it's doing fine. And behind it, I have a pot of Mammillaria species. No idea what the species is. It's just been living under there. And to the right of that, I have a Tefrocactus. I think it's articulatus. It's the spineless kind. This was a cutting given to me by one of my local cactus friends over here in the Phoenix area. I don't know if it's rooted. I just stuck it in the ground and we'll see what happens. Let me move over here. So between my brittle bush, I have a Mammillaria hidden over here. It's really dark, but kind of see. This is Mammillaria grammii. This Mammillaria is native to the Phoenix, Arizona area. You'll find them in the wild. And I love Mammillaria, and I'm going to do a video showing you the different Mammillaria that I have. But this one is extremely low maintenance. I pretty much just leave it there, and then it gets water whenever I water the landscape. That one I got from Arizona Cactus Sales. I think it was like $5. Move over here. So underneath the other side of the brittle bush, I have a Mammillaria. I think it's Nehapensis. And you can see it's got some fruit on it. That bright pink fruit, which my mom likes to call chili peppers. They look like. This one I got from Walmart, and I think it's just loving life over here. Extremely easy, very low maintenance, and it likes to flower and fruit like crazy. And next